Now, Sports Director Adam Sullivan.
Alabama head coach Nick Saban spoke to reporters today at the 13th annual Nick's Kids Charity Golf Tournament. He played the 17th hole several times, spoke on his retirement, which is not soon. Who would have guessed that? He said the renovations to Bryant-Denny show the commitment from the program. Saban also made it clear his team has something to prove. City, Central Coosa, you're a Benjamin Russell guy.
Right.
How do you get guys like you, Randy Moss, Justin Tuck, Gerald Wallace, how do you get that type of lineup into one place at one time? Now, normally Jared Harper and Bryce Brown are leading the Auburn Tigers to sweet, sweet victory this season. Tonight, though, Ole Miss made a point to shut those two down. Enter this man, Chuma Okeke, who says, "Don't you forget about me." There's only been 4 trips to the College World Series in Auburn's program history: 67, 76, 94, and 97. Now, Butch Thompson is in his second straight Super Regional. Tigers are only 1 game away from returning to Omaha, so let's get right to it. Welcome back to sports. Baseball is in full swing, and I know that because we are standing out here at Riverwalk Stadium. The sun beating down on my face. It's the home opener for the Montgomery Biscuits. They welcome the Biloxi Shuckers to town. It's game 1 of a 5-game series. Troy Trojans against the Alabama State Hornets. It's the 2nd annual Max Stingfest. Now, it's also a trip on the Trojan Tour, and that's why you see the man standing right beside me. It's new football head coach Chip Lindsey. Coach, first I got to ask you, we're talking baseball out here, obviously. How's your arm? How's your swing? I know 3-sport athlete in high school, correct?
Yeah, a long time ago.
But Shane, I want to switch this focus back over to you. Why am I wearing gloves right now, Shane?
I know.
It's supposed to be baseball weather, and I'm out here wearing gloves. Although the sun looks
coming.
like it's
coming.
So
the warm-up could be coming.
And you always make it look relatively easy, John. I mean, that's why we bring you out here. You know what you're talking about. But in the spirit of Halloween, John, I thought we could test you out a little bit.
Okay.
I want you to talk a little football, but I want you to stare me in my horse's eye, John.
Ooh.
And try to keep your composure. What do you think about that?
Adam, you've never looked better.
Oh, we don't need any of that. Let's just talk football, John.
Okay.
Welcome back live from Mercedes-Benz Stadium in Atlanta. John Longshore's with me. John, as we see behind us, players sprinkled around the field. A lot of special teams action going on from both Georgia and Alabama. The stadium, we'll call it 40% full. Maybe fans starting to pile in here. It's a national championship game. That's a lot of storylines on it. Of course, you got the All-SEC matchup. You have protege versus teacher with Kirby and Saban. You even have UCF claiming a national championship going in.
Well, it's safe to say that we are in a new era in Troy athletics. In January, Chip Lindsey was named the new football coach. In March, Scott Cross was named the new men's basketball coach. And today, Brett Jones was announced as the replacement for Jeremy McClain as the school's new athletic director. History can be made tonight. If the Biscuits can win against the Lookouts, they will clinch a postseason berth in the first half of the season for the first time in franchise history. And right now, Montgomery leads in the North Division by 4.5 games. Well, I know what you're thinking. Look at that Photoshop job behind Adam. Well, you're right. That picture is doctored, but get used to it. The New York Giants have agreed to trade star receiver Odell Beckham Jr. to the Cleveland Browns. Former Tiger and #1 overall pick in the MLB draft, Casey Mize, for some advice. And Mize said, if you can see the picture, he said, hold it like this and throw it as hard as you can.
Daryl, much like it was a travel day for us yesterday, the same could be said for Alabama today. Now, we drove from Montgomery down here to Tampa. The Crimson Tide, they flew and probably had a relatively easy day considering what's ahead of them. A weekend full of interviews and then, of course, the championship game come Monday night. Now, right now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a good look at the sights and sounds from their arrival at the Tampa International Airport earlier today. Against Auburn, the Capital City Classic right now behind us, still warming up a little bit, watering down the field. Oh, yeah. Come on through. Oh. Big Mo. Big Mo.
Big Mo.
Right here.
That. Look at that. It's Big Mo looking
good. You know who's not looking good, though, Daryl, coming into this game? It's Auburn, Alabama.
Tennis players the world over, they've been dealing with the same issue since the beginning of the sport. Maybe you're practicing your serves. Maybe you're returning against the machine, and we all know what comes after it. You have to pick up the balls. Well, a startup at Auburn may have put that issue in the past. The underdog, Pike Lip, who would need to win the next 2 games to win a 3A AISA championship. Our Game 2 highlights from yesterday showed them making the first step, a 7-6 win to force a Game 3. Hopefully it's too much of a distraction, but Auburn basketball assistant coach Ira Bowman, he's been mentioned in a bribery scheme during his time at Penn University in 2015.
There you heard it, Daryl jinxing us, begging for snow basically right there from Atlanta, Georgia. We will see you guys tomorrow live all throughout the day right up to game time.
Ellis,
All right.
I guess we're
Adam
back
is
from
here.
commercial now. Or we're going to come. Let's come over to me. There we go. Now, there's a thing that happens in sports. Welcome back to Lace Up. Let's hit the high school gridiron now, shall we, John? Starting with our game of the week. State semifinals in Class 6A. Wetumpka hosting Hillcrest Tuscaloosa. The Indians, they're coming off a dominant win against Spanish Fort last week. You remember that game, John? Wetumpka put up 69 points in that game. We are 99 days away from the beginning of the college football season. We are 837 days away from the beginning of the 2020 football season, and now we know what that means for Alabama football.
As we head up afternoon, Daryl.
In tonight's good news,
Daryl, I'll go first. These guys are so rude. Sports as well tomorrow. The early signing period. John Longshore will join me. Now you, go ahead, Daryl.
Thank you. He was such a good sport about it.
Real Rudy from the movie Rudy. Back to you, Adam.
Well, never thought I'd say this, but thank you, Rudy.
Now, Sports Director Adam Sullivan.
Auburn baseball is back in action today after giving up 4 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning against Mississippi State to lose their College World Series opener. Expect another close game, though. This year's first 6 College World Series games have all been decided by 2 runs or less, a record to start the tournament. Now, whether it was something to deal with today, we'll get to that in a minute. First, if you missed it earlier, take a look at this little Cam Newton fan enjoying the game today. Now, this next clip, sure to take that joy right away. Louisville getting on the board first in the first inning, out to left field, a solo shot, make it left center and make it 1-0. Now Auburn, they put on a show on defense today, though, mainly in foul territory. Matt Scheffler loses the mask to the bat stop. He's got the ball there, the junior showing off. Auburn is able to get on the board in the second inning now. Kason Howell at the dish, 2 on, just to ground out to second, but it does allow Edouard Julian to tie the game up at 1 apiece. More defense down the third, more from foul territory. This time, Rankin Woley tracking, sliding, and eventually smashing into the rail here. He's definitely hurt, but still the presence of mind to get up, fire the ball to first, and he almost gets the double play. Woley, he would stay down for a little bit, but he would eventually return, and a look at the leg in the dugout a little later says, yikes. Then the rain started. In the 4th inning, bags full for Louisville, and this could be a game changer. Ryan Bliss can't handle the easy grounder. 1-run scores. He fires home. Make it 2 runs, and everybody is safe for Louisville. It's 4-1 at that point. And then the weather fully took over after a 4.5-hour rain delay. Postponed is the game to 11:03 tomorrow morning. The game is 4-1 in the 5th inning. Let's head over to Biloxi, the North versus South Southern League All-Star game. The Montgomery Biscuits, 7 players in the game. Jesus Sanchez contributing in the 5-run second inning for the North. An infield hit here, beating out the throw and scoring a run. Josh Lowe drove in a run later. Sam McWilliams got the win in just 1 inning of work. It's a 7-3 North victory. Well, the Atlanta Braves hit a lot of balls into the bleachers these days. Now enter this kid who caught a ball wearing a Mets hat, only to then switch to a Braves hat. Now, it looks like we have a traitor on our hands, but he's actually a genius.
So I like to try and catch baseballs. So when the opposing team is taking batting practice, I'll wear their hat so that they'll throw me balls.
Wow, kid.
There you hear it. Smart kid. The Braves, not smart in waiting until the 9th inning to show up in this game. Freddie Freeman, though, that's his 20th home run of the season. Next batter, Josh Donaldson. Back-to-back here, make it 5 straight games for Atlanta with 2 or more home runs. Braves needed a lot more than that, though, a 10-2 loss. Let's go to the hard one now. Alabama Rising sophomore Kyra Lewis Jr. is one of 18 finalists for the 2019 USA Basketball Men's U19 World Cup team. The finalists will continue training twice a day out in Colorado Springs. The final 12-member team will then be announced prior to the team leaving for Greece on June 24th. Now, Kyra, he led the Tide with 13.5 points, 2.9 assists in 31 minutes per game. The FIBA U19 World Cup takes place June 29th through July 7th. Not a good night for the Braves, but you learn something every day. That's how you get some baseballs at a baseball game. They say the odds you'll never get one. There you go. I think they said he has over 150 of them.
Wow.
Genius.
His game plan worked.
Smart kid, yeah.
Wow, I'm impressed.
Thanks, Adam. Still a lot more coming.
Tennis players the world over, they've been dealing with the same issue since the beginning of the sport. Maybe you're practicing your serves, maybe you're returning against the machine, and we all know what comes after it. You have to pick up the balls. Well, a startup at Auburn may have put that issue in the past.
Tennis ball was born out of frustration. I was out there on a court hitting with a tennis ball machine. This is when I realized I spend more time picking up balls than I spend hitting in the tennis ball machine.
El Atrabi's team hopes to make the world of tennis a slightly less stressful one, no matter the skill level.
Well, to put it in the most simple form, it's a autonomous tennis ball collector. So it moves around the court, picks up balls, but it also comes with an app, and the app keeps track of every ball it picks up. A lot of tennis players, time is everything. They are on the court, they want to benefit from every minute on the court. And all the other advantages include things like it's more fun when you are playing and hitting balls than you are actually picking them up.
Online, we even had somebody email us from Switzerland saying, hey, I've been playing tennis my whole life and I've never had this kind of product before. I'm so excited that this is going to make the game a lot easier. Just that joy that people have that they'll never have to deal with this again has been really a great part of this for us.
Talking to some of the local tennis coaches, the product is already on their radar.
I think it's a great idea. Just save time, you know, for not only for college but different type of levels of tennis players out there. Not only for the team, but you know, for intramurals teams, and you know, just to have a tool that attracts people, you know, just to you know, out of curiosity, what is this, and then start playing tennis. Yeah, for sure, that's something that we can definitely use.
Tennis is such a great sport. I was introduced to it more than 10 years ago, and I loved the sport. I loved the practice part. I loved getting better. So hopefully tennis will play a part in making people better in tennis and go back and play it and enjoy it without having to worry about bending down, picking up balls, and make it more fun than it already is.
Whether you're an everyday player or a Division I program, looks like things just got a little easier courtesy of Auburn graduates.